Okay, so let's start. First of all, let me give a brief about what we covered yesterday. So, if you go to the documentation of Playwright, I told you that there are three things which we need to understand if you wanted to work on the automation on Playwright. One is browser, second is the browser context, and third is the page. So, we need to understand this browser part. Okay, this what we should say, the object, right, the browser object, what it is about, and we discussed in depth like what it is. We have to discuss about browser context again, the second thing, very important thing. The third is the page. Okay, so third is this page, right, this page, and all the methods of the page, right, all these methods. Now just to give the reference, browser means that as we discussed yesterday, we have test file. So what happens is, how things runs in Playwright creates a browser process, or you can say an instance of the browser for every test file. So it will assign a browser, right, let's say a Chrome, right, it assigns to it, right. Now this is like a process out of which it will, depending on how many tests you have, right, it will create separate sessions, isolated sessions for every test. Okay, so let's say it will create a session for this test case, right, and this session is called as browser context. Okay, and then once you have to load a URL, you need a tab on it, right. The tab piece is called as a page. Okay, so mostly, right, you would be working at this page level. If you want to hit a URL, you will be saying page.goto, right, and you will be hitting the URL. If you want to select a locator, if you want to go somewhere, click something, right, on a drop down, on a dialog box somewhere, right, all the operations are happening at the page, right. But you have to understand that these are the three different levels, right. Browser context is formed from browser, and page is formed inside a browser context. So it's like a hierarchy: browser context, and then within the context you have a page. And you can have as many pages as you want, you can have as many browser contexts as you want inside a browser. Okay, and we discussed about fixtures, like what is a fixture, and every test case here, right, in Playwright injects these fixtures here, the browser context and page for you. But it is, they are on demand basis. If you will ask, it will inject. If you don't ask, you will not get. Okay, and once you receive it, you can use it for your automation part. Okay, so we discussed all this yesterday, and primarily we discussed about this browser part and all the methods available on it. So we discussed about this browser thing. Okay, these methods we discussed about these yesterday. Today the context would be, we have to discuss about the browser context. What is a I mean, we know what is browser context, we have to discuss about these methods. So let's start. Okay, let's start. I hope you got these just right. Yeah, great.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and one piece of advice for everyone, right? I don't know whether how you would have prepared for web driver IO, or how good or bad you were till that part, but I would really suggest everyone, if you are looking to upscale your career, right, please at least make sure that you're practicing this playwright part. Okay, there are a lot of jobs in the market, there are a lot of opportunities waiting for people to grab. If you really want to ride the tide, right, which is currently flowing in the QA market, please understand this playwright, and it will really boost your career. Okay, not within the organization, if not within the organization, maybe outside. There are plenty of opportunities, but they are only meant for the people who has the in-depth knowledge about it. Otherwise it is like another selenium, right, which people just learn and grab, take cheat sheets and try to think, okay, if I learn 50 to 60 questions, I will be something, right. But it's a short term thing. Try to understand things from depth, and you can only do that once you do it. I mean, at least from our bootcamp, you can do it from day one, right. So there are 9 6 classes, 9 10 classes which have already happened. I would suggest, please do it sequentially also, and grab all the knowledge which we have over here, okay, without using any shortcuts. Okay, having said that, let's move ahead. Browser context, right? So this is what we have to discuss about. How do you form a browser context? Let's go on the test case now. So let me close all this. Let's just close this. So yesterday test case I have skipped. Okay, to skip my test case, I have to write just skip here, as I was telling yesterday. Now I'll form a new test case for today. I think I have already created a branch for today. Today is day 9, I believe, right? Just a second. Today is day 9, right? Today is day 10. Okay, today is day 9. Yes, today is day 9. So I'm on the right branch. Test. So I'll say test case 2, and we will inject. So this is the structure of my test case, right? Now, yesterday, right, we were injecting browser, right? The browser thing, and we know with browser, you were getting the process here, right? And if you wanted to use browser to form context, right? How you can do it? You can take browser, right? You can take browser, and you can say browser dot new context. As soon as you do, right, you can see what does it return. It returns your browser context. Okay, browser context. So if you are interested in doing this way, yes, you can do it this way. This will generate what? It will generate a new Google, a new Chrome session for you. Okay, it's like a new browser being opened up. Okay, although the browser will not open, it will be running in the background. The browser will only open and show you once you open a page on that session. Okay, as we discussed yesterday. But let's just show you, right? So you can create a context like this. So you can say context, and I will collect it in C1, let's say. Okay, and this is it. Okay, now you have the context. Now you can access all the methods which which I will be showing you here, right? All these methods right over here can now be accessed on that object. Okay, how did I form it? I went to the browser, I did new context forms a new browser context, right? It won't share cookies with other browser contexts, right? So it's like an isolated session which you got. So let's go back. So you can do it this way, and you can access all the method. Let's say you want to open a new page. So there is a method on this browser context. You can say new page, and it will open a new tab on it and await, right? And this can hit the URL, and let me just take it in a object again, p1, and I will say p1.goto. And you can hit the URL here. Again, you have to use await. Make sure we are in habit of writing await for the promises, for the methods which returns promises. So https for test.in, right? So you can do it this way, and it will open the browser, right? Now, if you see, right, we are making use of this browser object to do all of this, right? But Playwright provides you a shortcut. Playwright says that you do not need to do this. I can do it for you using the fixture, right? But for that, you will have to use the other fixture, not the browser part. So remove the browser, use context here. Now this context means that Playwright is doing something like this in the background for you, right? And giving you that object. And that object name is context. Now what you can do is, let me just comment this thing. And what will happen here is you can use this context here instead of C1. And bingo, right? You do not have to create the object. You do not have to create the object of this context here. It can already be created by Playwright for your test case and injected right on demand. Since you asked, it provided. If you don't ask, you will not get it. Let me show you how it runs. So let's go to the terminal. Okay. So notice I have skipped this test case, right? And this is just a test which should be only running. npx Playwright test. Oh, okay. My bad. Just a second. I should have given a project also. There are a lot of projects mentioned there. I want to use Chrome only. Let's see. Okay. See, the browser opened up and there was a page navigation happening, right? Okay. How many test cases ran? Only one test case ran, right? This one only, test case 2. You can see test case 2 running, right? Test case 2. Although the description of the worker, right, says that this worker was assigned 2 test cases to run, but that worker found out that okay, one test is skipped, so it did not run it, right? It did not run it. But in the log, right, you might see this and might get confused. But confusion is from the way like how the documentation is done here, right, or the logging is done. What happens here is, here it is printing like Okay, why it is using two workers? Just a second. Am I writing fully parallel as true? This has to be false. Let's run it again. Now you will see it says running two tests using one worker. But why it is, yeah, you can see, right, running two tests. Why two tests? Because there are two tests assigned created in that file, right? And while reading through it, the worker will get to know, okay, this is has to be skipped, so it will not run the test case, and it will just jump to the second test case and run it. And that's what it did, right? One pass. Okay, we have seen this a lot of times, so let's just go back to this discussion, right? So this is how you can get the context. Okay, this is how you get the context. Now, what all methods can you access on the context, right? We are not interested in the page part right now, but this is one of the methods on the context. Let us go back here. Let us write down all the methods which we need to understand for our understanding of the playwright, right? In the context of web automation. So there are a lot of methods here, right? If you go back, browser context, there are a lot of methods here which are being mentioned here, right? But out of these, right, what is meant for us to be used? Since we are discussing about only the web automation part, right? So first of all, I will categorize, right, these methods under different buckets. So one of the methods is related to pages, right? If you wanted to have access to the pages, right? So what you can do is there are two methods here. One is you can create a new page, or I should say a new tab on the session by using the method called new page. Okay, new page. Now you can call this method, and this method will open a new tab on the session. Okay, and this will return you page object only, right? Let's say in your browser session, see, browser context is this without any tabs. As soon as you do a new page, it will open a new tab here. If you do it twice, you will see two tabs here. If you do it thrice, you will see three tabs here, right? And you can access those tabs by those objects, right? And do, let's say, you can hit podcast here, YouTube here, Udemy here, right? And all that you can do. Now, as you understand the part here, right? This is browser context, and these are pages, right? These are pages. So pages can be multiple, right? Within a single session, you can open multiple tabs. So this browser context has a method, right, to know how many pages are being opened in a context. So the method is pages. This will return you an array of pages, right? So you can use the length property of the array to grab the number of pages which you have opened in the context. Okay, so these are the two methods which you need to be knowing about, right? What is a page object? What all methods it has? It is a matter of discussion in for the next class. Okay, but this will open a page, and this will give you the number of pages which you have. And if you want to access a specific page within this array, you can use it through the indexing part, indexing of the arrays, right? This is one part. Second method, second category of methods is about cookies. Browser context, right, is a concept introduced by Playwright just to make sure that you receive a new session which is not sharing the cookies or other things, right, with the other test cases, right? Because every test case receives a new session, right, for itself. Okay, now, so what happens here is you can add cookies, right, for your needs. Or let's say there are some cookies already sitting in your browser, right, because you navigated to a particular URL. Maybe those got injected from the server of the website which you loaded, right? So now you want to maybe, let's say, get access to those cookies. How can you get? Or let's say add a new cookie, or let's say edit existing cookie, or let's say remove a cookie, right? So all those methods are residing at the browser context level. Okay, so similar methods were available in WebDriver also, right? There it was available with the browser. Here it is at the browser context level, right? So you need to understand, like, where is what cookie, right? What are the methods? So one of the method is you can add a cookie by saying add cookies. Okay, add cookies. It's like you can add multiple cookies by forming an array, and you can keep on adding cookies object. What is a cookies object, right? You can form an cookie object, and the cookie object will look like this. You can just say let c1, and you will form an object of this. and there are certain parameters which you can set. Okay, like name of the cookie, right? And you can give a name to it, you can give a value to it, right? And you can do all of the other things. You can do all the other things, right? So you can form a cookie and then add this cookie in this method here, right? If you want only one cookie, just leave it like this. Even it will be injected in the browser context, and we will see like how it gets, right? Add cookies. Let's say there are multiple cookies sitting in the browser, and you want to retrieve them. There is a method called, I think, cookie, right? It will return you the array of cookies, right? It will return you an array of cookie, whichever would be sitting in the browser. What do you have more? Clear cookie. Let's say you want to remove all the cookies. So there's a method called clear cookies, and you can remove the cookies, right? If you want to remove a specific cookie, right, you can then provide, there's a there's a second overridden method on it, cookies, and you can provide the, there are three parameters using which you can remove. I think one is based on the name, second is on the domain, and third is on the path. Okay, so we'll see this, right? So what my point is that there's a category of methods available to work at the page level. There are category of methods available at the cookies level to interact with it. The third thing, right, which is the, I would say, the important part. Okay, not the this point, but yeah, there are certain methods at the timeout level. But again, we will not discuss about timeouts as of now. We will discuss it once I will have a separate session just for timeouts across all the different ways to provide them, and or to discuss all the different types of timeouts. Okay, but there are two methods available. One is at the navigation level, and there is a default timeout, right? So there are two timeouts here which you need to learn from it, from the browser context library. And the fourth part is the events, which is the important part in case of Playwright, as we discussed yesterday, right? So events. So there are a lot of events here, but for our purpose, we need to understand four events. One is the page event. Second is the console event. Third is the page console close event. And the fourth is the dialog event. Okay, like what are these events, when they will get triggered, and what can you do after this? And there is one last method apart from it, which is called as wait for event. Right, so let's start. Let's discuss this one, then cookies, and then we'll move to the events part. Okay, this timeout section I will not discuss today, we'll discuss in a separate class. Let's start. If you go here, right, there are a lot of methods here again, right? There are a lot of methods here, but I have we'll be discussing about the ones which is meant for our purpose. Okay, other things you can use if you wanted to write in your context, but it is not required for web automation, at least the ones which we are going to cover. Pages, right? It returns all the open pages in the context, right? As I said, it returns an array of page. Let's go to our test case. So if you see here, right, I have opened a new page P1. It is opening this URL. Let me open a new page on this. Let's say P2. So there are now two tabs to be opened up, and here I will be hitting URL, which will be, let's say, youtube.com. youtube.com. Right, so there are two pages being opened up, right? Now I would like to grab these pages, right? Let's say I don't know how many pages have been opened up. So what I can do is I can say await context. I can get at the context level and then say pages, right? And this returns me what? It returns me array of page. Okay, so there is no need for me to provide an await here because it's an array of pages. I will say pages. Okay, and now what I can do is it will collect all this, and what I will do here is I will do for let p p, what we say, for p off, right? There is a, oh, I'm forgetting, how do we do it? There is a for each method, right? What I can do, I can use pages dot for each, and I will receive a p here, and I can write my code, and this will be like a string and I can write await p dot. I can get the title of my page. No, get title name. It's a title, right? Title. What does this returns? It will return the title of the page. Returns the page titles. Let's see what happens here, right? So we will receive the title equals to this, and we will like to print it. Console.log title. Okay, let's run this and see how it works. I'll go to my console and I will run the test case. Let's observe. I hope I have written the awaits everywhere, otherwise it goes for a toss. Pages is a page thing. Okay. Okay, let's wait. You can see it opened one tab, which is on bot test. It will open a second tab, which should hit. Oh my goodness. I just navigated on the same page. I should have done P2 there. Okay. Okay. It says what? Leave it. What happened here? Test ended. Hmm. I should use what? I should say what? I should not do this then. Context dot pages. I should do what here? First of all, this has to be P2. That was one mistake. Second mistake is what? It is saying for each test ended. Okay, does for each works with part or not? Okay. Okay. For loop for const page of pages. What I can do here is I can say await okay, where will I write async here? Just a thing. Wait of no, this is an array, right? Uh, okay, I'm forgetting this. How do we write it? Okay, I'll have to think about it. Just a second. For the time being, let me just do one thing. In the meanwhile, I will check how to do it. I will say pages.length. So this returns me what length is a property or a method. It's a property, so I don't need call it as a method. I will say console.log pages and r pages length. All right. So let me just first trigger this. Okay. So you can see, right? Two tabs open up. Second tab is hitting the YouTube URL. And you can see pages opened are two, right? So it returns you an array. What I am struggling with, I am forgetting the syntax of a for loop. Just a second. Let me ask my friend in Copilot. Okay. Okay. I should ask to use uh, for loop to iterate to pages collected from context dot pages method in Playwright. Okay, here it is. Arey yaar, in JavaScript. Let me write. Use for loop. This give me code in JavaScript. Okay, new page. How did we do it? Yeah, we were doing pages only. Okay, but he's saying that he's asking to do the pages part here. Okay. So we were doing the same thing, but hmm. Okay, I think it is something to the load time which we have not covered. Or should I cover this or not? Let me give a one last attempt on it. Otherwise, we'll cover it in the. I'll tell you, right. There is something called load strategy, right, of the pages, which is playing in between all this. Okay, and it is having an impact. But since we have not discussed, let's see. P of what is saying is just to use it directly. Let's use it directly. Pages, and what I will do here is of pages, and what we'll do is we'll say await t dot title. What does this title method do? Let us see. Let us read about it. It says what? It returns with a page title, right? Yeah, it should return a page title, and I would like to collect it. Let's say title because of this, and I would like to print this console.log. Page title is title, right? So we don't need this. We are okay with it, and okay, let's run it. If this throws a navigation issue, so I will stop it there. Otherwise, and we'll discuss it in the chapter once we discuss about the load strategies and everything. Again, in the concept of timeouts. So it opened one tab, it opened the second tab. See, it is taking time to load, right? That is where the problem is occurring. Let's wait. Let's see. Okay, great. It worked, right? It worked here. Okay, great. So it worked. Uh, the second problem, right, which I can tell you is the for each method, right? I think for each method does not work on promises. Okay, what I remember from my learning. Okay, so maybe that was another problem to look to understand, right? I'm using a normal for loop. I'm not using for each on an array. There are multiple ways to iterate through the arrays, right? One is using this, using a normal for loop, or you could use a for each on the array itself. Okay, we have discussed all this in the JavaScript chapters, but just for your information again, right? So you can see for each had an issue, but for loop worked fine on the promises part. Let me also let me just do it, right? Okay, difference between for and for each method on the array. For each method on the array in JavaScript. What I remember. Okay. Not required. Supported operation. Okay. Can we use for each for each for promises for array containing items promises? Let's see. Okay. Does not handle asynchronous operation properly, right? If the callback you provide for each contains a wait relies on promise, it won't wait for those promises to resolve. Okay, so people, we should try our best not to use for each uh, for promises part. So there are multiple ways to use, right? So again, a thing to remember. It's not that it will not work always. It might work, it might not work. There is a uncertainty to it. So I would suggest do not depend on it. Use this instead. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Moving ahead. P1, P2, and all that. So this is how you can cover pages, right? The array of pages. Where is it? Pages, right? So this part. New page we have already seen, right? If you want to get a new page, this is the method, right? To create a new page. So these two methods are done, right? Now, let us see. Yeah, Anand, please.
Akhil, can you just again revisit the follow-up? The question that I have is, we are storing the context of new page in P1 and P2 variables, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but when we are iterating, we are using the variable as just P of context dot new
This is
pages,
a for loop, man. This is a for loop, right? What are you iterating through? You are iterating through this, right?
context of pages, new page,
Context pages. What does it return you? It returns you an array of pages,
array of pages that have been opened above.
right? So there are two pages opened up inside the session, right? What are those?
Okay,
One is this page,
this one and this
and
one.
second is this page, right? So what does this array contain? It's an array of p1, p2, right? Whatever you name you give, right? But it's something like this. You have an array of something like this: page one, page two.
Page
Getting
one,
it?
page two that are open in the current session.
Right. Because you're referring through context only,
Okay, okay,
right?
okay.
And now you're saying const p of. So first of all, this p is a just a new variable which you're creating. This will attain the value of page one in the first iteration, and then you are saying page one dot title, right? So you will receive the title of the page, and then you're printing it.
Got it,
In
got
the
it,
second iteration, it will go to page two. Okay.
got it. I think my question was like, how does just the context dot page is getting the values from the P1, P2, but I understood that in the current session, whatever the pages are there, that is bringing the data to through this method. Okay,
Right. It is an inbuilt method, right?
yes,
So it
yes,
is designed to give you those pages in an array.
got it.
Okay, great. So let's move ahead. Let's go to cookies, right? Cookies, add cookies, clear cookies, and all that. So for these, the methods are here. Clear cookies, right? So there are clear cookies method. Remove cookies from context, except optional filters. You can provide filters here to distinguish things, or you can add cookies. Add cookies into the browser context. All pages in this context will have these cookies installed. Cookies can be obtained via browser context.cookies. That's a third method to receive the cookies. Okay, cookies, right? You can see you can provide array of cookies, and single cookie object, right, can look like this. That single cookie object can have name as of one of the parameters, value, URL, domain, and all that. Right? All this information can be added, right, to this. So let's first add a cookie, okay, into our context, and let's see what happens there. So we have two pages. It's not at the pages level; it's at the context level. Context dot add cookies, right? We will add one cookie here. Let's say, let me create a cookie. Let c1 equals to, okay. Let me write cookie one so that it is much more clear. So we are trying to form an object. The first parameter which we should give is the name. Name will give it as, let's say, Akhil, or let's say pot test. Name is pot test. Okay, I'm giving a name. Let's put a value to it. Value. How does a value look like? It has to be a string. So let me say uh, platform for aspiring estates to learn. Okay, learn. Okay, so let's say this is the value, right? You can add all the other attributes, whichever you feel like. Let's say URL, domain, and all that, right? Okay, let me put URL also. This is very handy. URL. Okay. Now this is one cookie, right? You can form as many cookies as you want, but it has to follow the object structure like this. Okay. This is I am injecting a cookie by myself into a page, right? But most of the times what will happen is when you hit a URL on the page, right, that when that request goes to the server itself will inject some cookies, right, into your browser so that it can manage the session accordingly, right? But since I think the pages which I'm going to hit might not have the cookies, so I'm hitting a cookie. I'm adding a cookie by myself. How to add it? Just use this and add it here. And since this will take a promise to be returned, let's add await. Right? This is how you add a cookie. What we'll do after this, after adding cookies, I would like to retrieve. Let's say I want to collect how many cookies I have in the session. How can I do it? Context dot, I think cookies is a method, right? Cookies is a method, and this will return you a array of cookie, but in a promise form. So what I will do is I will say await first of all, and I will let cookies equals to this. So this is cookies is getting what? It is getting an array of cookies, but it is a promise thing, right? So the promise would be resolved, and then cookies will receive all the items within it. Now I would like to iterate through the cookies, right? So what I will do is I will again use the same for loop for uh, const c of cookies, const of cookies, and what I will do is I will say I will say c. I would like to print it, right? So let's say console.log. Um, let's say cookie 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 is cookie is c. Okay, cookie is c. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this and see what happens. And to do one more thing, right? I will make a pause just to make sure that we understand what is happening inside this. So we'll wait at page 1. I will say pause. So this will pause the things for us. Let's run it. Okay, so you can see it has hit both the URLs, and now it will pause. Oh, why it closed? It got closed. Protocol error, invalid cookie fields. Invalid cookie fields. Oh, these are all required. No, I need name, value. So name, value are mandatory. Add cookies in the browser context. All pages in this context have these cookies installed. Cookies can be obtained via cookies. So I am doing the same stuff. Why does it have to be like this? So key import cookie. So cookie I have added from there. So it will have the type of it. So the problem here is this URL. So it does not have to be this. It says URL does not exist. Maybe let us see what does cookie have. Cookie
I
has
think
cookie has name, value, path, same set. Oh, URL does not exist. So why URL I
I
mentioned
think
here?
the domain can be passed as a URL.
Either URL of domain or this. This it shows right. It can accept URL. Somehow it is not accepting. Okay, fine. So let's the domain we can pass, right? I'll have to say podcast.in over there. Let me provide domain I can pass for sure. So I'll go there. Um, domain, right? And this cookie is again complaining. What is saying is missing the following properties from type. Okay, path, expire, HTTP, but these are okay. Let's say quick fix, add missing properties. So okay, so I think we have it. Let's keep it as is. So this time it should not complain. Let's run it again. Let me clean this. No, again, it should have a URL or a domain or a domain path. I'm providing all of this. Now it is saying domain or a URL. So we are providing. Okay. Uh, there is one minor mistake happening somewhere. Should have URL or a domain. We are providing domain here. Let me remove this and see what does it provides. What does it say? Property domain is missing. So let's say quick fix. Add missing property domain. Okay, and we are saying cookie here. Let's try again. Otherwise, okay. Why it did not waited here? Why it is not waiting here on the okay? Add keys at this level. It is failing. Okay, and again, what it said? It said, "Arey yaar, this is a problem here." Just one more second. My terminal starts duplicating the text on the screen. So it did not plan. Hmm. Okay, it says cookie should have a URL or domain path pair. Domain path pair. So I have a domain also, and I have a path. Path is also there. Okay. Path and domain. What has to be a path? Has to be a string and a domain. I'm providing all this. Why it is saying
I have searched it.
hmm?
The ChatGPT says domain and path is made compulsory by the Playwright API, and the domain must be start with dot and like youtube.com.
Into .com, something like this.
Yeah, dot youtube.com if you want to go to YouTube.
Okay, you're saying this has to be there, and what should be the path? Slash.
Let's say slash here and let's try now.
Why dot here?
It says
Okay, let's try.
it should start with dot.
Let's try. Maybe. Hmm.
Mhm.
Protocol error, right? Invalid cookie fields. Okay. Let's say youtube.com. youtube.com. Or let's say podtest.in. I don't want to. Maybe it will have some podtest.in. Let's just domain. Domain is this only, right? So maybe it does not want it to be empty, I believe. HTTP false, only false, secure is false. Come on. It again. Okay. Okay. Let us ask ChatGPT, right? I'm forming a cookie like this and it is giving me this error. What to fix?
Maybe cookie fields.
In below code, getting error as, let me just copy this also. Getting error as fields. Error as this. How to resolve. Okay, common issues. Okay, it must be timestamp in seconds. Okay. Domain misconfiguration. Okay, the domain field must be a valid reachable domain. If you're working locally, you should not use or you should ensure the domain matches your environment. Remove domain if you're testing locally. No, this is fine. Same site is fix Lex. Modern browser enforce stricter rules for same site. Ensure that strict is valid in your context. If cross-site is not needed, you may need to use Lex or none. With secure true. Okay. So with secure as false, it is asking me to use strict here, or it is saying use none here. Okay. Lex. Again, I'm not an expert on cookie, so I'm just using what they are asking me to do. Ensure HTTP only and secure fields are correctly set based on environments. Set secure true if using same site as none. For testing this, use secure false. Secure false expires 0. Oh, why it is 0? It is. Let me use this thing. So we'll do this. We have it, and now platform HTTP secure like spot test.n and domain misconfiguration. So same
Try
side
with
as like
localhost domain.
not
Domain.
actually. This is a site, right, which is okay. I mean,
Trying with like
okay. Let's use local then. Maybe it will have some issues with it. So what it is saying? Go and use local there, right? Oh, my system hanged. Uh, what to use here? So what does it say? Localhost?
localhost because I think the secure permission HTTP only is misbehaving with other URLs, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Maybe let's run it. And the problem is with the cookie object, right? Which you're trying to create. That's the problem here. But let's see. See again, it has a problem. Okay, maybe I'll fix it. Okay, let me ask him only. Na? Give me an example of adding cookie, whatever it will give. Okay, got. Okay, give me example of adding a cookie on context in Playwright. Give me a code example. Give me code example of adding cookie on context in Playwright using JavaScript. Okay, so it is saying this example, right? So let's use this. Strict same types. Add a cookie to the context. Add a context to the cookie. Same site. Let's copy this and then okay, let's add this. So I'll create let p2 equals to this thing. Right. So let's say I'm not sure whether it will work, but let's try. C2. Okay, C2. So C2 has to be a cookie. So let's say cookie. Now C2 has another problem. Is missing. Quick fix. Add missing properties. What did it edit? Expires. Okay. If it works, great. If it does not work, I will fix it and show you maybe tomorrow about this. Okay. But let's run it one more time. C2 and this. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, where is it? I have to go and run it. Okay, now it worked. Okay, it worked this time. So let's see. Okay, so this has worked this time. I don't know what was the problem here, but it has worked this time. Okay, so considering this is a valid cookie, right? Now let's see whether it really added the cookie in the browser or not. To check this, we'll open this. Let's inspect this, right? And go to our application and cookies. If you see, I don't see. Oh, cookies is here, right?
drop down.
What was the name of the cookie we added? Example cookie, right? So do we see example cookie? Not here. I don't see cookie here. It did not injected. Let me do an inspect here. or it will be in the local storage somewhere. No, I don't see it. Where it should be? It should be here only, I believe. Okay, okay, fine. Let us retrieve it, right? We are also retrieving. Let's see what happens here. If I do, let us go one by one. Okay. It went ahead and it printed some cookies, right? It has printed some cookies. So there is only one cookie which was it was able to inject. I mean, which was already there, right? Which is this NID one. Oh no, there are multiple, I believe. So just a second. Let me just scroll it up. Let's grab all this. I see a cookie here, right? But I do not see it in the browser. If you see, right, it prints that cookie which we have created. Let me open a notepad. If you see, we do have a cookie of example here. GPS is here, YSC, visitor info. These are all the cookies which you are seeing there. But our cookie also exists. You can see.
Is it because the domain is example.com and other cookies domain is, let's say for youtube.com, it is saying youtube.com, for Google, it is saying Google. So if you see first cookie, it says youtube.com domain,
Right.
and that's why it is attached to youtube.com, I guess. If you
Hmm.
copy the same
Okay. Maybe I.
cookie, let's try it this way. Copy the same structure of the first cookie, modify some value like
Hmm.
name and then try to, just like we log in for the application like ABP or token.
Right. Let's do it this way. So I will just remove, or let's have another cookie, right? Let's C3. C3. It will be a key equals to this, and let's add it here, right? And what I will do is let's modify this to GPS2, let's say, right? And I think we're good, right? And I can just say C3 here. Let's say whether GPS2 gets into the list or not, right? And this is what you're saying, right? Or no?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Let's run it.
Also now the HTTP only and secure true is coming from the YouTube. So let's.
Let's see.
I tried this with WebDriver.io for login application using ABP or token, so it worked there.
There it was working, right? I remember I tried it. So, but every tool has a different thing
Hmm.
to notice and all. So you see, right? You're right. So GPS2, right? Now it's getting displayed. So it is getting attached to the domain, right? I believe that is how it works. You have these domains separated by different domains, right? This one and this one. So since the one which we added, right, was with example.com and there was no such domain as part of this, it did not show up.
Right.
So if we go for pod test and if we try to see the cookies for it, I am think you will not see YouTube here, right? You see only pod test, correct? You see only pod test, and over here you see the cookie for YouTube, not for the pod test one, right? So you need to have a matching domain opened up, right, to display that cookie. Although internally in the browser, I mean this settings, right, that cookie is still residing, but it will not show up on the UI, but it exists in the background. I hope this is clear, right, for everyone. And now let's print this out, so you will see that it works, right? So let me just run this. You will see this getting printed. Okay, this is getting printed here. Let's just see what did we run. GPS2 only.
Yes.
GPS2 youtube.com. Yeah, here only, right? GPS.com. I think this is the one. You can see it being printed. So this is how you can add cookies and you can retrieve cookies. Now, one more thing, right? To retrieve cookies, right? There is another way. In cookies, right? You can also provide some information like the URL or not. So it will be able to filter the cookies based on the URLs. So the example is here, right? You can go to the cookies part, right? You can give the URL of the application, your optional list of URLs, so that you can filter your cookies. If no URL specified, this method returns all cookies. If URL specified, only cookies that affect those URLs are returned. Right. So I think if you give YouTube there, it will fetch only the cookies meant for YouTube. It will be able to filter it out. So we know about add cookies and getting the cookies. The last part which you should know is clear cookies, right? You can clear cookies, right? Remove the cookies from your session by using this method. If you use this approach, it will remove all the cookies. Let's use this. If I do it here and do this part, and then again I try to get all the cookies, this time you would not see any cookies now. Okay, it would not print any cookies. You can just check the length of it also. If okay, it's cookies to dot length equals to 0 0, then print console.log no cookies. Okay, no cookies, and we'll try to print it out. It will not print anything. Okay, so but if you wanted to clear cookies based on the URL and this domain part, right, you will have to do it this way. You can give a name if you want to remove a specific cookie. If you wanted to remove all the cookies for a domain, right, you can have to give a domain, or you can use based on the path or the combination of this, right? So again, depending on your need, you can use all that. Let's just run this and see what happens here. And I will remove that pause part. It unnecessarily waits. Or should I put it afterwards here? So we are waiting here. Okay, let's take this away. And I will, after clearing the cookies, I will put it here so that it stops here to show us. Okay, let's run this. And this would be the last part for today, and we'll wind up. Wait mechanism and all right, we'll discuss tomorrow. It will need its own time to. Okay, now you can see it would have cleared the cookies. Let's find out cookies here. Does the cookies exist or not? As per it, it should have removed. Oh no, it did not remove. Very good. It did not remove the cookies. Why did not remove the cookies? It should have cleaned up the room. It has removed the cookie from here. I think there was a cookie here, right? I believe. No.
I think for portraits there is
Oh, it removed only the cookies which we added.
right.
See, it is only removing the cookies which we added. It is not removing the cookies coming from over there. Ah, it is again interesting behavior. How to remove? Okay, maybe it does not have a control on it.
Is it because the next refresh got added all those cookies from the server?
No, see here, right? I mean, I did not refresh the page.
Right.
I did not refresh the page. Here I'm hitting the URL, and after it I'm just printing the title of it, right? So no refresh is happening here. I'm then adding the cookies to it, which is like a operation by this Playwright, right? Nothing
Yes.
is happening with the server, so it
Yeah.
should not have got a chance to add them back. But it feels like clear cookies only removes the cookies. Okay, at least in our case, it just removed the cookies which we added. Okay, let's see. Let's ask this, right? Maybe this is the behavior. I don't know. Does clear cookies method remove the cookies which we added from the script, or it can also remove the ones which got added by the website servers. Method removes all cookies, including added by your script, set by the website server during interactions. No, but it is not happening for us. Clear the cookies from leaving it empty. If you want to clear only specific cookies, you will do this. Okay, okay. Then I will check this, right, but it says that it should have removed it. I don't see it getting removed. It only removed the ones which was meant for us, right? I think we are here, right? So it should have done this. And if I run this, You can see it did not remove. It would have removed the ones. You can see GPS2 is removed, right? Yeah, this is the one, right, from where we are printing again. So these are the ones getting printed. It does not have GPS2, but yeah, this is what the behavior is. But very strange, right? It should have removed all the cookies. Okay, whatever it is, right? Can't help it, but I will see if there's a change in this behavior. But it currently it looks like it will only remove the cookies which you added, at least from the behavior perspective. Although the documentation says it can remove all the cookies. Okay, fine. Right. Okay, so what did we cover? We covered the pages part, right? How to add a new page, how to retrieve all the pages, right? We covered the cookies part, add cookies, right? Clear cookies, right? We covered this method, and similarly, you can do it, right, with removing a specific cookie. Now, events, right? Events and wait for event is pending. It will take some time, so let's stop it here, and we will cover this part tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Let's wind it up for today. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet tomorrow morning and let's continue from there.
Thanks,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Nice day.
Bye.